All right, Shalom. This is Brother Kasha Kwala coming back at you with another lesson, giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And today is going to be a lesson on be mindful of what you put into your heart, okay? Because you have something called the subconscious, and that's something that you don't want to defile, okay? So I'm gonna get the definition of subconscious, and then Lord willing, this is edifying, and Lord willing, I'm gonna break down the word subconscious and then get a few scriptures that I have lined up for the lesson. So this is subconscious. It says of or concerning the part of the mind. All right. Of or concerning the part of the mind which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. All right. So what I mean by you got to be careful what you put into your mind, because some things can be seared into your subconscious, making you do something that you tend or normally do not do. Okay. That's a demon. All right. You ever catch yourself like about to do a certain act and you're like, man, what the fuck am I doing right now? That's not me. That's not what I want to do. That's because something got into your subconscious. Okay. So you got to be it's very detrimental to input into your spirit or into your mind or into your heart. Okay. Like the scriptures say, your heart, which is Lab, which is your mind, the things that are healthy or beneficial to your spirit and to your subconscious, okay, which is your spirit, okay. It's just digging deeper into your spirit. What do you when you get a dog, you don't get a dog. Well, some people adopt dogs, but like when you get a dog, you usually get it as a puppy, and when you teach it things as a puppy, it sears into their mind or into their conscience. Okay, now when you let that puppy, if you're not around or you're not spending time with that puppy or training it, it's going to develop things or habits which a dog really is not supposed to do. Okay, Kalab. It means it's supposed to be loyal. Okay, that's what Caleb means, loyal. All right, Kalab, or a dog, Kalab. It's supposed to be loyal. Now, when you see a bad dog or dogs that are doing crazy things, it's because their subconscious is seared. Okay, it's seared, and they have certain habits or habitual things that they do that aren't right because their subconscious has been fed incorrect things instead of being fed the things that a dog is supposed to know. It's the same thing for us. If we should be watching these videos, we should be doing videos, we should be linking up. That's why you got the scripture. Let me get it real quick. It's one of my favorite scriptures, favorite chapters at that. 2 Peter 3. It says 2 Peter 3 and 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness. Let's get the word conversation. Okay. Conversation and adenostropha. Let's see. Or fe.
Strong's G 391. Anastrophe. Anastrophe.
All right. And that means a manner of life, conduct, behavior, or deportment. So you should be conducting yourself in a certain manner. Okay. That's going to help your conscience and in turn help your subconscious to seal. It's like you have your conscience, which your conscience is what you're aware of. Okay. Which I'm going to get a scripture and I'm going to break down the word conscience. All right. But it's something that you're aware of. Now, your subconscious, sub meaning under or beneath. Okay. So there's another level to your consciousness. All right. Give me 1 second. All right. So going back to the word subconscious, of or concerning a part of the mind which one is not fully aware, but which influences one's actions and feelings. Okay, so what you influence your actions or feelings, this truth, this word, these scriptures that are written. Okay, this is, and before I read this, I want to make a point. When I was speaking about getting a puppy, all right, when we first get this truth, we are a puppy and we're being trained to be a certain way. Now, as that puppy, if you're being trained in an incorrect way, you're gonna be doing incorrect things. Okay, hence why you start seeing yourself when you grow older in the truth doing certain things that you're not really supposed to do because you weren't practicing it at a young age. Now, there's that scripture where Yahushua was speaking to Nicodemus and said, you have to come back as a babe. He's like, how can I go back in my mother's womb? Nah, when you get the truth, that means you don't know nothing no more. You have to be retaught everything. You have to learn an alphabet. You have to learn your numbers again, your 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. Okay? And you have to learn what's right and what's wrong from what you had known previously. Okay, you have to restart. Okay, and when you restart, it's a pivotal thing to be doing it the correct way. So your subconscious is seared with righteousness. Okay, so this is Acts chapter 24, verse 14. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call hearsay, which means like a choice. Okay, it's chosen. All right, so it says that after the way which they call a choice, all right, or hearsay, so worship I the power of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. There you go. Just believing everything that was written. I think this is Paul speaking, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is Paul. All right. So he believed everything that was written in the law and of the prophets. Therefore, his subconscious is seared with a hot iron of righteousness. Okay. There's nothing that's going to sway him. He has his conscience, but the sub that's underneath his conscience, which again, the conscience being aware, conscience means your spirit discerning, or your spirit discerning between what's morally good and what's morally evil. Okay, but his subconscious was seared. Like, yo, you're not telling me any different, and his actions uh, proved that his subconscious was of a righteous subconscious. All right. So verse 15 it says, and have hope toward the Most High, which they themselves also allow, that there should be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. Verse 16, and herein do I exercise myself. So he exercised himself. He exercised the works, the laws, the prophecy as well. Okay, to it says to have always a conscience void of offense toward the Most High. Now that's when your subconscious comes into play. Let's get the word conscience real quick. All right. Yep, same word. All right. Oh, salat. And sanadesis, and it means the conscience of anything. The soul or spirit, like I said before, as distinguishing between what is morally good and bad. Prom- Prompting to do the former and shun the latter. So we're shunning the latter, what we used to be, okay? Or salak. Yeah, we're shunning what we used to be, all right? Well, that was our latter end, okay? Or from the past, all right? And we're doing what was a former, well, formerly what was written in the Torah or the law. That's what we were doing beforehand, okay? So we're promoting what we're doing before, and what was written for our learning, what was written aforetime was written for our learning. Okay, it says commending one, condemning the other. So we're commending one of them, and we're condemning the other. We're commending what was written before time or aforetime for our learning, and we're condemning what we were doing in this life. Okay, before we got the truth. All right. So our conscience, that's our conscience. We know when you figure out, yo, this is wrong, this is right, that's your conscience telling you. When people say you gotta listen to your gut feeling, that's your conscience talking to you. Now, what you do when inclination is something that is of your subconscious, okay? So let's get the word subconscious in the etymology. Not wholly conscious, feeble conscience. So you have the word sub. Sub meaning under, beneath, behind, from under, resulting from further division. Okay? So it's under or beneath your conscience. Let's go back. All right. It says mental processes taking place without consciousness. So that's an inclination of something. So with that being said, let me get Romans 2 and 13 real quick. All right. This is Romans 2 and 13. It says, for the hearers of the law are not salak. For not the hearers of the law are just before the Most High, but the doers of the law shall be justified. Okay. It says, for when the Gentiles, which we once were, okay, which have not the law, which at one point we did not know the law. We did not. Some of us can even name the first 5 books of the Bible, okay? So, do by nature the things contained in the law. So, me personally, when I didn't have this truth and I was in the world, in college, okay, I knew there was something in me that said, nah, she got a boyfriend. Yeah, she fine and all, but she got a boyfriend I'm not even gonna pursue. I didn't want to do that. That was me doing something that was contained in the law, not knowing that it was in the law, okay, an inclination. So my subconscious did not let me do that, okay? It says, do by nature the things contained in the law. These, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, okay? So I did not have the law, but I did something according to the law. Therefore, I'm a law unto myself. But that's an inclination. It was something was in my subconscious making my actions do it. You know, my subconscious was making me do something, okay? And in that time, my subconscious was making me do was not to commit adultery, okay? Don't sleep with another man's wife. I always thought that was wrong in my life. I always thought that was wrong, okay? All right, that's just something on a broad scale. A lot of men in this truth, before the truth, knew that was wrong. Okay, all right. So, verse 15, what showed the work of the law written in their hearts, okay, their mind, in their subconscious. All right, that shows the law was written in somebody's subconscious when they do something that was contained in the law, but they did not have the law or did not know the law. Makes them a law unto themselves. All right, that was something in their subconscious because their conscience wasn't fully aware of why or what they're doing. Okay. I didn't, like not eating pork or something. I didn't know at the time it was in the Bible. I didn't know that before I got the truth. Okay. So that was my subconscious or my spirit telling me, yo, don't do that. But my conscience isn't fully aware of it. I just didn't want to do it. My conscience was aware that I don't want to do it, but something in me was telling me to do so. But my conscience is not aware because the sub is underneath that. It's deeper, okay? It's your spirit, all right? Their conscience also bearing witness, okay? So there you go. That clears it up. And let me see if that's the same. Yep. Synodesis is the same word for conscience, which is morally good and distinguishing what's from good and evil. So it says, what show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness. So me bearing witness of what I was doing, I don't want to sleep with that woman, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another man's woman. I don't want to do that. My conscience is aware of me not committing that action. But my subconscious, on the other hand, was telling me not to do that. All right? It says in their thoughts, the meanwhile, accusing or else excusing one another. Okay? So, let's go back. Matter of fact, that was Romans 2. All right. Let's get Hebrews 10 and 22. No, Salakia. Hebrew. Let's see something. 1 Corinthians. Okay, we can go 1 Corinthians 8:12. It says, "But when ye sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Yahushua." So this goes back to what I was saying. Be careful what you input into your mind. Okay. So even when you're around brother, you don't want to be a stumbling block. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get a scripture on that. This is Roman. Let's see, Roman chapter 14. All right, Romans chapter 14 and 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. So let's go back to 1 Corinthians 8 and 12. But when ye sin so against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Yahushua. So you're putting a stumbling block in front of a brother. You don't want to be that stumbling block, okay? You don't want to be that stumbling block that ruins the conscience or the subconscious of another brother. Okay, you're certain that how you move your actions will sway another brother, especially a younger brother who may look up to you. I can say this on as personal testimony. I've been around men who I hate to say it, but hey, just for the sake, just for the truth, you can do nothing for against it before it. Um, I've stumbled on certain brothers because of their actions when I thought they were godly men, but their actions, I always questioned their actions, but I thought it was like okay, you know what I'm saying? That was them being a stumbling block towards someone who may have looked up to them. Okay, so it says, but when ye sin against the brethren and would their and wound so hurt their weak conscience. That's how you know this is could be pertaining toward maybe a younger brother in the faith, because when you're young in the truth, you're a little weak. That's why you got Hebrews chapter 5. It says anyone who is still using the milk is unskillful with the word. You're a little weak. You're feeble. All right. A little calf when he comes out is still drinking the milk of the udders of her mother because it's still weak and needs to get strong. Okay. So it says wound weak conscience. Okay, a man who's been traveling in this, according, I think that's Sirach. I want to say like 34. A man who's traveled, a man who's traveled in this is more of a strong, has a strong foundation. Okay, and he's more so eating the meat of the matter. Okay, but when you sin against the brethren and wound their weak conscience, maybe a brother who looks up to you, so you're ruining their subconscious. Again, that's a younger brother looking up to you. You got to nurture him and bring him up right to instill in him good habits. All right, to instill that subconsciousness. Okay, instill that righteousness inside his subconscious. Okay, because his conscience hears you, but it's going deeper into his subconscious. Okay, let's get Titus chapter. I think it's chapter 1. And I'm gonna close it out on this. I want to say it's chapter 1. Yeah, Titus chapter 1 and 15. Unto the pure all things are pure, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure, but even their mind and conscience is defiled. Okay, it says unto the pure all things are pure. So if you're a pure individual being washed daily by this water, this pure water, okay, then you're going to listen to the pure things, and your subconscious is in your conscience is going to be pure. All right, but unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. All right, but even their mind and conscience and subconscious is defiled. Okay, so defiled, let's get the word defiled real quick. Minio, or yeah, I think let's say
Strong's G 3392. Miino.
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 Miino, to dye with another color, to stain, to defile, pollute, um, contaminate, all right, defile with sins. Okay, so it's a contaminated conscience. So their judgment or discernment is contaminated. All right, their conscience is seared, with wickedness. All right. So, Lord willing, I know it's kind of here and there, but Lord willing, it was edifying. You can see where I'm trying to come from. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who were well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. And again, this is Brother Kasha Kwala from the GMS Atlanta Church here in Georgia. And until next time, I want to say shalom.